So how I feel is like you can either let BPD use you or you can use it. Okay. Now I want to tell y'all how I used having a lack of sense of self and being a follower to my advantage to step into my leadership qualities. So honestly, y'all, I have always had leadership qualities. I've dreamt about them in my mind. I've always known that I was a leader. I've always known that I was a very independent person. I've always known that I was headstrong. And I've always had a father who let me know that I was all of these things. He always told me, you're very headstrong. When you got your mind to something, and can't shit in this world tell you that you're not going to do it, so I've always known who I was from a very young age. But I will say, like, throughout my life, I just had a very, like, I always wanted to fit in. I always talk about this. I always wanted to fit in. So whoever I was around, everything's good. Whoever I was around, I wanted to I didn't want to, but that's just how the cookie crumbled with this BPD shit. If I was around them, I took on their qualities. And I was often around people who didn't have the same kind of dreams that I had, that didn't see themselves going in the same way or same path that I was going in. And I took on a lot of their qualities. I was a very big follower in my teens and my early 20s. Until maybe, I'm telling y'all, everything in my life is very intentional. Until I got to college, and I was like, I noticed that in college I wasn't able to do the things that I really wanted to do. The shit I really wanted to do, I wanted to join clubs, I wanted to be an SGA. I just wanted to be a leader in college. And I went to a HBC, I went to WSSU. But none of those things ever like popped off for me because I was just, my mental health was so terrible, and at the time I didn't understand it. And they say that BPD peaks from 18 to 25. And now that I'm understanding this, is like when I was becoming an adult, my BPD was peaking and I didn't realize it. And in college, it was like there were so many things that I wanted to do, and I couldn't because I didn't have that inner, that strength to do it, It was there, but it was very dormant. And then I joined a class. It was a class that I took. It was a military class, and his name was Captain Bradley. He's retired now, and his class changed my life. I just loved seeing him at the front of the classroom and just be so confident and so in charge of his life, to the point where, like, that made me join the Army. And I dropped out of school, and I did that, and the military gave me so many leadership skills, and I never got to be a sergeant. I wanted to at least make E5, but I ended up getting in trouble. But it's okay, because I feel like if I would have made E5, I would have stayed in longer, and I would have never really been able to fully focus on my purpose, which is this, sharing my life journey and inspiring people to become better. But I've always known that I was this person. Like, I always knew that I wanted to make my mark on the world, right? I don't know if my hands is ashy, I'm sorry, y'all. But I always knew that I wanted to make my mark on the world and just be a strong black woman that was a role model for younger black women and any age black women, and just anybody. But the Army taught me those leadership skills, and now looking back, I realized that I was only supposed to be there for me to get those skills, the skills that were naturally within me. I had to go to the Army to activate those skills, and now, like, I'm in this position to where, like, I have a platform, and, like, I understand the responsibility of having a platform, and understanding that, like, you have to be responsible with this shit. You can't just be careless. You can't just be reckless. You got to know what it is, So I was able to use that lack of sense of self and, like, the identity confusion for me to really get in tune with those qualities that I've always had within myself that were very dormant because of my mental health, because of BPD. And I was able to really just make moves in my life that allowed those qualities to be activated, right? And now I'm very grateful that I did do those things. But they were always there. I just didn't. I needed to activate them, and like I'm very intentional about everything I do in life, and I had to make very intentional moves in order for those things to be activated. And I feel like I'm finally in a space where I understand what my purpose is. I understand what my mission is on earth. I understand, that I have to really remain humble and keep my eye on the mission, the where the fuck was really fucking important in order for me to reach whoever the fuck I'm supposed to reach. But I'm very grateful and I'm very excited, and I don't want to say that I'm grateful for BPD because it is a very challenging thing to live with every single day, but I'm grateful to be the person that I am. I'm grateful to be a warrior. I've always been a warrior, but being in the Army really made me realize how much of a warrior I really am. I know that when I graduated basic training, I was like, bitch, if I can graduate basic training, I can do anything that I put my mind to because I'm a princess, But being in the Army made me realize that I'm a warrior princess. I'm a fucking warrior. Bitch, I'm ready to strap up my boots at any fucking time in order to get to a goal that I have, to conquer any enemy that I have. And it's so crazy because I was in IOP and I finally got to talk to the therapist, and she was telling me, she was like, you were in the Army? She was like, you're so feminine. And I was like, girl, I had to get that back. The Army knocked that shit up out of me. I had to really tap into my masculine bag. It was hard, bitch. Okay, it was hard. Tasha Mack, all right. But I don't know. I'm just very grateful for the fact that like I was able to identify the fact that like I was a follower, and it's so crazy because I identified all of these things before I even got my fucking diagnosis. I realized that my identity was very shaky. And I'm telling y'all, like, getting a diagnosis really pushed it into perspective for me to the point where it's like, this is what I'm dealing with. Now I can bypass that and understand that what my real personality is. I can activate that and understand that the shit that I'm dealing with, the challenges that I'm dealing with, are not who I am. There's just something that that was placed upon me because of life. It's just what the fuck happens, but. I don't know. I'm just very grateful that I was able to get to a space where it's like I can acknowledge that I am a very headstrong person, and I came here with leadership qualities, and life put them on the back burner, but I am stronger. I am a conqueror, so I'm gonna persevere, and I'm gonna get to what the fuck I need to get to in order to pursue my dreams and really reach where I want to reach, because that's what the fuck I came here to do. I came here to have a fulfilling and beautiful and easeful life, okay? And if I gotta work for that, I gotta work for it. I'm a warrior. I can do it.